The days of sail made the kind of men who would trust their souls to Providence and hold the wheel steady against the storm. Like them, their wives were the kind who could face into the gales of life and keep faith with God. One such woman was Mrs. Christiana Godfrey of Chelsea, Massachusetts, daughter of sailors, sister and cousin to sailors, wife of a sailor. Christiana and her husband had lost 2 young sons to illness, leaving them with one precious 7-year-old daughter. All her few years, their Mary had suffered bouts of what was called in those days membranous croup. That winter brought on an attack so severe the Godfreys worried for their little girl's life. As a northeast snowstorm raged outside and Mary's fever raged inside, her mother knew what she had to do. She must go for aid to her remarkable new friend, a woman who lived a few towns up the Atlantic coast in Lynn, a woman who healed by prayer.
Aunt Nancy kept telling Mother that she was crazy to take me on such a journey a day like that, and I would surely die. Mary Godfrey Parker.
Christiana was undeterred. This daughter of seafarers bundled her ailing child in a blanket, and together they marched out into the winter storm toward the train to Lynn. At Lynn, mother and child made their way from the station to a house a few blocks away on Broad Street.
The landlady of the house, her mother's new friend, met them at the door, saw at a glance what was needed, calmly told little Mary she would be all right, and sent her upstairs to play.
I did as she told me, ran upstairs, and immediately I was all right. That was the end of this awful condition. Mary Godfrey Parker.
That was as her mother knew it would be. It was not the first time Christiana Godfrey had found healing here. Her own badly infected finger had been healed. Friends she had sent here had been healed. In her eyes, this friend in Lynn was the most wonderful woman that ever was.
That woman, Mary Baker Glover as she was known then, Mary Baker Eddy as we know her today, had come to this place in Lynn braving a lifetime of storms of a different kind.
She was born Mary Morse Baker in 1821 on a farm in the hills of Bow, New Hampshire, youngest of the Baker children, growing up surrounded by a plain farming life, chores, family pleasures, schooling, church, and prayer.
Even in her earliest years, there were storms, the waves of illness that often kept her from normal activity, the theological storm of confrontation with stern articles of faith fervently held by her father, particularly the doctrine that only God's chosen few would enter paradise, all others lost to perdition.
Then God is not as good as my mother, she told her mother, and he will find me a hard case.